That night we became one emotional, romantic couple story. My name is Jessica, and this is the story of a night that quietly joined two lives into one. It happened on a calm evening, the kind where the world feels slower and emotions feel closer. There was no celebration, no loud music, no dramatic plan, just two people, Ethan and Mess, standing at the edge of a moment we both felt but did not rush. We had been together for some time by then. Our love had grown through conversations, shared silences, misunderstandings, and patience. We knew each other's fears, habits, and hopes. We had learned how to listen without interrupting and how to stay even when life felt heavy. That night, everything felt still. We sat together in a softly lit room. Outside, the city moved on as usual, unaware of the quiet shift happening inside our hearts. Ethan looked calm, but I could see thoughtfulness in his eyes. I felt the same, peaceful, yet emotional. We didn't speak much at first. Sometimes, silence says more than words. I remember thinking how safe I felt, not excited in a rushed way, not nervous in a fearful way, just present, fully present. Ethan reached for my hand gently, not to pull me closer, but to reassure me that he was there. That simple touch carried trust. I looked at him and asked quietly, "Are you sure?" He nodded and replied, "I'm here because I want to be with you." That answer mattered more than anything else. At night, we didn't rush into anything. We talked. We shared memories from childhood. We spoke about our families, our struggles, and the mistakes we had learned from. We laughed softly at small things. We paused often, making sure we were both comfortable. Love that night was not about passion. It was about connection. As the hours passed, I realized something important. I wasn't trying to impress him. I wasn't afraid of being judged. I wasn't hiding any part of myself. I felt accepted completely. Ethan looked at me and said, "I don't feel alone when I'm with you." Neither did I. At night, we understood each other in a deeper way. We didn't become one by losing ourselves. We became one by choosing honesty, care, and respect. There was warmth in the room, not just from closeness, but from emotional safety. We moved slowly, listening to each other's comfort, respecting every pause. Every moment felt meaningful because it was shared willingly. Afterward, we lay quietly, side by side. No rush to speak. No need to explain. I rested my head near his shoulder, listening to his breathing. In that calm moment, I realized that love doesn't always announce itself with excitement. Sometimes, it settles gently and stays. Ethan whispered, "I want to protect us." That promise stayed with me. When morning arrived, the world looked the same, but I felt different. Not changed in a dramatic way, just stronger, calmer, and more connected. There was no regret, no confusion, only clarity. That night didn't end our journey. It deepened it. In the days that followed, our bond felt steadier. We communicated better. We understood each other's emotions more clearly. We faced challenges with more patience. That night became a quiet foundation. It's something we talked about often, but something we both felt. Love matured after that. It wasn't louder. It was deeper. I learned that becoming one doesn't mean a single moment. It means choosing each other with care, again and again. It means respecting boundaries, listening to silence, and valuing trust above everything else. At night, we didn't promise perfection. We promised honesty. We promised effort. We promised to stay present. And sometimes, that is the most beautiful kind of love. That night we became one, not in a way the world could see, but in a way our hearts would never forget. Some nights change everything, not because of what happens, but because of what the hearts finally understand. The morning after that night felt calm and different. The city outside moved as usual, but inside me, something had shifted. I didn't feel any sudden rush or dramatic excitement. I felt grounded, connected, and at peace. That night had not just united us physically, it had united us emotionally in a way that made every moment afterward feel safer, warmer, and more honest. In the following days, our bond deepened in quiet, meaningful ways. We spoke more openly about our feelings, our fears, and our expectations. We discussed our past mistakes and the lessons they taught us. Every conversation was honest, free of pretenses. We began to trust each other even more, knowing that we could share vulnerability without judgment. That trust became the foundation of our love. Ethan learned to recognize when I needed reassurance. I learned to understand his quiet moments as signs of thoughtfulness, not distance. We discovered that love is not just about grand gestures, it is about small actions, patience, and listening without interruption. We had disagreements, of course. Sometimes our emotions clashed. Small misunderstandings led to quiet tension. But instead of letting conflict grow, we talked calmly, apologized sincerely, and listened. Each resolved disagreement made us stronger. We learned how to handle differences with respect and how to stay connected even when our hearts felt heavy. Love became a routine, not boring, but steady. Morning texts, small surprises, shared meals, and quiet walks all became ways of showing care. The intimacy we shared that night was no longer an isolated memory. It became a guide for how we treated each other daily. Every touch, every smile, and every shared moment reminded us of the trust we had built. One evening, while holding hands during a calm walk, Ethan whispered, "I don't know what the future holds, but I know I want to face it with you." Those words made me feel safe. I realized that love is not about perfection or passion, it is about commitment, presence, and choosing each other again and again. From that night forward, our relationship matured. Our love was no longer just about excitement or desire. It was about understanding, patience, and the quiet strength of two hearts that had finally found a home in each other. That night we became one, and every day afterward, we continued to become stronger, closer, and deeply in love. And that is how real love grows, quietly, gently, and endlessly.